Talk to people in there. Good morning. Did she get the tape out?
Let's try.
Trying to hook up. David, hello. Before we begin our meeting, we would like to express our appreciation to all essential employees, especially medical personnel, who are on the front line every day. Let's stand and give them a round of applause. Called to order. The City Council of the City of Log Cabin is meeting in regular session April 16, 2020 at 7 p.m. at Log Cabin City Hall, 14387 Alamo Road, Log Cabin, Texas. The meeting is being streamed on YouTube on the City of Log Cabin channel. Citizens will be able to comment and ask questions via text to 903-875-6501. Again, that is 903-875-6501. If a closed session is necessary, the meeting will be reopened after the closed session. The subjects to be discussed or considered upon which any formal action is to be taken are on the agenda. These items do not have to be taken in the same order as shown. Roll call. Jennifer Williams? Here. Jessica Abbey? Here. Rodney Allen?
Present.
David Campos?
Here.
John Perkins?
Here.
Let the record reflect that David Campos is joining by telephone due to concerns about the COVID-19 virus and his current health status. Please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance and the invocation. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Let's pray. Father God, thank you for this opportunity to serve the people of Log Cabin. As we undertake the business of the city, we pray, Lord, that you will guide our thoughts, words, and actions to do what is best for all the citizens of our city. Because we are all from diverse backgrounds, we know that there will be disagreements. We pray that we will not let our personal preferences overshadow the work that we need to accomplish. During this period of dealing with the COVID-19 problem, we would like to thank you for giving strength and health to those people who are providing essential services. We appreciate the sacrifices they make every day and are aware of the danger they face each day, and ask that you shelter them from harm and help them to stay healthy. In Jesus' name we ask all these things. Amen.
Amen.
Item number 4, the consent agenda, approving the minutes of the council meeting from April 2nd, the financial report.
I'll make a motion that we approve the minutes from the council meeting April 2nd, 2020, financial report, and zoning and building standards commission.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor? David, are you an aye?
Aye.
Okay, we are going to go off agenda and discuss number 10, the lawnmower. Our maintenance supervisor, Donald, is with us tonight. done some work on, finding equipment that will last longer than just a couple of years. We have several quotes here for a John Deere, at a cost of about $4,500. There are three quotes that we got, and so I think I will just kind of turn this over to you, Jennifer, and you can kind of explain what you have found.
So, as you can see, I got the quote from S.V. Barkley for a Skag. It auto-corrected, it's not Skag. For a 61-inch turf builder commercial, the deck is welded. And this is it's $13,663, that's with the municipality discount, and they have financing available. Sam at Athens Tractor and Equipment has spent a lot of time with me over the past couple of days. You have two quotes for a 60 Kubota diesel. The standard frame is, it has the digital readout, it has the jacks built into it, and it's a heavier machine itself. It's 1,676 pounds. They both have the comfort seats. They're both the same size, they both cut the same way, they both have the Kubota diesel engine. The compact one is a little lighter, it weighs 1,389 pounds. It does not have the jacks, and it is analog instead of a digital readout. That's your only difference. The deck is still welded, it's still a heavy duty, it's just not as heavy as the other one. He said personally, if he was buying one, he would get the compact. Personally, either one, there's not a big price difference in the two. So, that's my opinion. If we do financing, just straight out financing with them, the insurance is, included in his quote, and on their policy, it covers everything, from vandalism to accidental damage, you run it into a pond or the lake. It's a $250 deductible to repair or replace. So somebody steals it, you pay $250 and they replace it. We can use our own insurance if we want, it just has to be by their standards of what they require. The other option that we have is we can do a municipality lease, where, say we lease it for 3 years, 6 months before that lease is up, they'll ask us if you wanna buy, trade, or get rid of at the end of the 3 years. You can trade it in for new equipment, you can buy it at fair market value, or you can get rid of it at the end and do something different. The upside to the municipality lease is that if 6 months down the road, we see we can't make the payment, we can get rid of it with no penalty, no harm to the city's credit or anything like that. Instead of, if you look on here, the document fee for straight out financing is $50. To do the lease, document fee, it is $195, so that's your different price on that. But he said that's the only difference in your price, is the difference in the document fee. Your taxes will also come off of this once we give them our tax ID number. The Turk tax that you see on there is for anything that's over 50 horsepower, so it does not apply to us. That's why it's blank. I think I covered everything. Oh. So what's your question?
Not so much a question. So how, is that lawnmower 2 years old?
The Hustler?
Yeah.
I'm not sure, when did y'all get it, I don't know.
It's not 2 years old.
How old is it?
Maybe a year and a half now.
Okay, alright.
It's less than 2 years
Does
old.
the Hustler need a
So,
deck?
So,
I'm sorry, Rodney.
no, go right ahead.
Does it need a deck? Or is it the one that burns a lot of oil?
no, doesn't burn any oil, it's got, the engine is the best part of that Hustler. If for a mom and pop that uses it an hour a week, mow their yard, it'd be great. For the way we're running it, 16 hours, 2 days straight, all day long mowing that thing, it just doesn't hold up. Constantly, I put grade 8 bolts in my drive units, and it keeps snapping. The frame has broken twice now, and I've had to weld it together. Just not a reliable piece of equipment for what we're using, how we're using them, okay? Putting a lot of hours on there. Now, we have a Skag. Skag's an excellent mower. I didn't want to see the city spend that type of money on a commercial mower when, as we have other options that I had researched and know the equipment. I've spent 25 years in heavy civil construction. Out of those 25 years, I've 13 years as an equipment superintendent, where I bought, maintained, rented every piece of equipment you could think of. And I've come across and know that John Deere has a reliable product, and they always stand behind it, very good. I didn't want to put the burden of that type of expense on this city, where I could rather have that other money used for asphalt machine, a used asphalt machine that we can do the roads with. We can use the recycled asphalt and put it in the machine, it eats it up and melts it, and at a much cheaper cost. So my whole point was, when I was looking for a mower, was getting one that's going to be dependable and reliable. Okay, that's what I need first off, because every time that thing breaks down, it's about 2 hours of my time to fix it. And time is precious when there's only 2 people and we have so much to do around the city.
Right.
So, I would love to have a Skag, absolutely. We have a Skag right now, it's got over 1,000, right at 1,000 hours on it. Burns a little oil, but it keeps going, sure. The John Deere will not last as long as the Skag, but it will last a long time. And it's a good piece of equipment. So I'll leave which one you guys want to buy is up to you guys, but I would prefer that we use that other money on something else, other pieces of equipment that we need to maintain the city. We need that side cutter that I've spoken to you guys about, because a lot of the roads are so shallow and they're always full of water, and I can't mow them. I can't take that bush hog in because it leaves a rut from the tires in the, so it's up to you guys. I would prefer that John Deere's excellent, that's all I'm gonna say after all this. It's a good piece of equipment. But if you guys wanna get me the Skag, hey, I'll be in hog heaven with it. And yeah, it'll last a little longer, but so will John Deere.
What's
It's
the
up to you
difference
guys.
between the commercial and the John Deere?
Pardon me?
What's the difference between the commercial
The
Skag
commercial
and the
mower
regular John Deere that you're wanting?
The Hustler has a welded deck right now. That doesn't mean anything to me. Doesn't mean anything.
No, I mean the
The
John
rest
Deere
of
that
the
you're
frame-
wanting,
Pardon me?
John Deere that you're wanting,
Yes.
what is the difference between it and this commercial?
Kubota, what's the difference?
What's the
The
difference
difference
between
is
those two?
on a non-commercial mower, they've probably got a lighter grade steel, a light, not a lighter weight, a cheaper steel on it. Then on the commercial, it may have a hardened steel frame where it takes more to tear it apart or break it than on the other one. The bolts are probably all grade 8. It's just a better quality, one step up. You know what I mean? Like it's like buying a Hyundai versus a Mercedes. You know, there is going to be a difference. The Skag is well built. I won't say that. So is John Deere.
Right.
Now, for what we need here around here, I feel confident that the John Deere will do us fine. But if you guys want to spend that type of money, then I'm happy with that too. I'm just trying to save the city some money and get other items that were more important for the maintenance of the city. I think you guys can see that a lot's been accomplished while I've been here, and there's still a lot needs to be done. And anyway, I just feel my time is more important than stopping every time to fix that Skag, towing it back. It's just the Hustler. Hustler, the best part of it, like I said, the engine is great. I've never had a problem out of that engine on that thing. It's everything else, belts, drives, deck. not made, the way I'm using them is the big problem. They're just not a commercial mower. Commercials are designed to mow, keep going. They're designed to work them hard.
And they hold up when you run over limbs and stumps that you accidentally don't mean to, right?
Yeah.
Like down there in
And
the
we run
park.
over a lot of
Yeah.
landmines too.
Yeah.
And I wasn't implying that you didn't know what you were talking about. I just wanted something that was gonna be best, that, the longevity of it.
Right, I understand that.
Because unfortunately, you're not always gonna be here.
That's right, and you're absolutely correct.
To fix things like you have, because I have no doubt, absolutely, you've done an amazing
that's where I-
job.
and
And so, I was honestly trying to give y'all something that would be, would make your jobs a little easier, and that was the longevity of it.
Right,
So,
right.
and that's all I was trying to do.
Yeah, and I
Um,
appreciate that, and that's, you're
so-
exactly right with that. But like I said, I was trying to, I've got
And I
other pieces of
appreciate
equipment.
it, yeah.
You know, that we need, that the John Deere will work, and then I can get the other pieces too to do other things. But anyway, like I said, I'll leave that decision up to you. I'm happy with, getting the John Deere 535 at 60-inch or 62-inch cut, but, it will hold up, not as long as Skag, as I repeat now, but it's still a good mower and reliable, so it's up to you guys.
I appreciate your comment, and I will, ditto Jessica's remarks. Y'all have done a remarkable job, an unbelievable job. Lowe's and Home Depot, in my opinion, what they might try to call a commercial grade is not a commercial grade. And so, you're looking at $4,400 to buy this John Deere. So, is that, with the wear and tear on it, is it going to last more than 2 years, do you think?
Yes. Absolutely.
Because, I mean, I figured it up on the, and you're a Skag guy, no problem, I'm a Kubota guy. And I obviously think a diesel machine is a lot better than a gas machine, personally. But I figured up the payments, if we did the Kubota and the lease, our payments are like $2,700 a year. So basically, in 2 years, we spent the same amount of money as we would buying on that equipment as we would on one of a John Deere or whatever. And so now then we look at the next 2 years. So that's why I'm asking, is it gonna last more than 2 years? If it does, maybe we're okay. But if it's only gonna last a year and a half, and then we gotta turn around and spend, by that time, it'd be $5,000.
You're looking at easy lifespan of 5+, easy, on that John Deere. I don't see any, except for regular maintenance, of course, any big things coming up with Deere, and I've worked on many Deere's, equipment, Cat, Komatsu, Kubotas, too, everything, so I'll leave it up to you guys. You
So-
decide.
Question I have is, how long, these commercial ones, how long is the longevity on those?
That's a good question, and it all depends on how they're operated and how they're used. That's all I can say.
That would be
to
both
Well,
of
that would
them.
be the same thing with the John Deere, right?
Yes, exactly.
So if all things are the same, maintain, like you maintain them, how long, what's the longevity on these commercial ones?
Obviously, it'd be a lot longer than John Deere non-commercial mower that I picked out.
Right.
That's not a commercial
Okay,
mower, but
so are we talking
I
8
can't
years,
give you.
8 years, 10 years?
Nobody, that,
I understand that
that's a
it's.
$64,000.
Yeah, I
Oh,
can't
like-
give you that answer.
Anything that you get, and it doesn't make any difference if you pay $10 or $100 for it, it's how it's
How
taken
it's
care of and
used.
maintained.
That's right.
But all things considered,
if he takes care of it,
But, and
my
then,
opinion, my thought
that's-
on it
that's-
is if he runs over a stump at the park, which I've seen happen a few times since I've been down there, and, or a tree limb that he doesn't know there because the grass gets tall, and it tears the deck off the John Deere, because it can't handle it as much as a commercial one can.
Personally, I think you're splitting hairs. If he runs over a stump on that Kubota or Skag, it's gonna,
Do the same.
it's just the
That's
same
what- that's
thing,
just what I was
it'll
thinking
do
as
the
well,
same
yeah.
thing, it'll yank it
Okay.
off, it'll tear it up too.
Okay,
yeah, they're not bulletproof.
No.
They're just heavier grade, meant to withstand
Something
more
more.
pressure,
Okay.
more,
moan.
good point.
that's what I was trying to figure out, as the way you were saying it with the steel and that's how I was taking it,
My-
like, I wanna be sure it's gonna take something that you may accidentally do.
Yeah, well, like
and
Jennifer.
handle it better.
Like Jennifer said, I'm not gonna always be here, and when I use equipment, I'm very careful with it. I
Right.
use it where I know I need to take care of it, because I've gotta use it again and again and again. Unlike, and this is not a bad reflection on Shannon, he's a little less of a person that keeps things in mind like that.
Right.
Anyway, but that's a good question. The Skag, you've got that type of warranty, but John Deere stands behind their equipment very well. I have never had a problem with John Deere. Whenever I've had an issue, on my excavators or whatever it was, they were there. But anyway.
Okay, further discussion, John, do you have anything to add? Okay, someone needs to make a motion to do something. Okay, question, I have a question. What do you all think about leasing equipment? It would be, as Rodney said, it's less to lease. It's, than we would spend outright. Right now, we need a mower. And our finances are not, we're not getting money in for some of the things that we had anticipated when we made the budget. So maybe this would be a good way to go. And like Jennifer said, if things even went further south, we could turn it back in without being penalized. So that's an upside to doing that.
And we could trade it in too, right?
And we can trade it in after 3 years?
Whatever
If
the
we
lease
wanna
is for, if we do
right,
a lease for
whatever.
2 years. And he
2 years.
said that if we were interested in the municipality lease, I will email him tonight and he will have it ready for me tomorrow for everyone to see. So, I'm not trying to push anybody one way or the other, but he did say, he said, I don't know why I didn't think about that until just now when we were talking. He said, but if you wanna see that in black and white, I will have it for you tomorrow. So,
I think it might be, I'm sorry,
go ahead, no, I was done.
I think it might be beneficial to know what kind of warranty it's got. Because, and it probably, I don't even know if it's got a 1-year warranty or not, but, the beauty part about the lease, number one, is that, I mean, I added it up, just the price, and then I took the insurance and the tax and everything off, and I was looking at the Kubota, and it's like $228 a month. So, what does that, it calculates about $2,700 something a year, and that's where I'm getting the 2 years if we have to replace one, we've got one. But, I guess, the fact that you can lease it, I mean, that's basically what, we're buying it, but we're leasing it. And so, at 2 years, if it gets to a point of where we're having trouble with it, it's old or whatever, say, we don't want it no more, how about giving us another one? And then we pick up the lease. Now, does that work better than writing a check for $4,500? I think it's a valid question.
So do we need to see the lease?
I'd like to know
Because
what
it,
kind of.
because it, that will include what the warranty is on there.
I think we need to, I mean, obviously, you don't buy anything until you know what the warranty is.
Right.
But I think you need to see what the warranty is, but, and now then, I'm gonna go back to Donald's point of, if we lease that equipment for $228 a month, then it's gonna take us 2 years to make up, to spend the money that you would write a check for tomorrow if you went and bought that lawnmower. And so, I'm just wondering if whatever other equipment that he's looking at, if there's another deal just like this one, and not have to write that, not write that big check all at once. And so, I got off my point. I did all this stuff up, and then just divided by 60 months, and it came out to exactly what he was saying. So, I don't think there's any interest.
Well, that's what I was saying, he never mentioned anything about there being interest. So, 'cause I asked him, I said, you know, is there a credit check? And he was like, well, yeah, but this is what it'll be. So, he said,
And a
except
spot-
for your taxes, which comes off.
When you,
So,
when
I
you
don't-
lease, is there,
When you lease, there probably,
Is there
isn't
interest?
gonna be interest if you
yeah,
lease
if you
it.
lease, it's not, there's no interest.
I wouldn't.
Okay, but I don't,
So it's
But
not,
on
Well,
the,
there's a difference between a cash price and a lease price, and it's different on here anyway. So it could very well already be added into it.
maybe,
and,
a little bit more.
That's what I'm
You'd
saying,
be right.
it's a little bit more,
What's my
so it's
friend?
probably already in there. I'm sorry.
well, it comes and goes. I think you call him and get him to write something up so that we can at least see what kind of warranty it's got.
I made the note.
But I still think the fact that you can hand it back and it doesn't damage your credit and it doesn't do this, and you say, okay, we're done with this one, get us another one, then yes, you're paying that $2,700 a month, a year, sorry, let's just pay it a month. But you got a high quality dependable piece of equipment. I don't know, what do you think?
And with what's in the budget, we can look at getting your other things. Do you see what I'm saying? We can get the side thing that you're talking about, and
To answer your question, yeah, I'd love to have that SCAG. If you guys wanna spend that type of money and do that, that's not a problem with me. I need a reliable piece of equipment that can keep us going, and I'm not always working on it.
Well, but my point being is if we lease it, then we're not writing a big check.
Right.
And we can possibly look at something else, either an
That's fine
attachment
with me.
or some
Yeah,
other
that's
piece
a
of
good-
equipment. And if we could possibly do the same thing,
Yeah.
then we're still not having to write a big check. And we're getting what you need.
So do we need to ask at the same time whether
what is the,
the side attachment?
what's the
could
side
go with
attachment?
it?
Is it for the mower, or is it for the tractor, or the,
Stump grinder, the arm.
Oh, the equipment, the side cutter,
The sidearm.
the side cutter,
Yeah.
yes. What is that attached to, the mower,
tractor.
the tractor?
Okay,
The
so
3-point
that's-
hookup.
Okay, so that's not part of this. not part
That
of the
doesn't go on the mower,
No,
that
this
goes on
is,
the tractor. Have you
we'd be
priced
using that
the
around
side?
around
you-
the treatment plant,
Yes,
the pond,
price.
around all the streets. I don't have to, I can be on the street and mow with that side cutter.
Right, have you
Right,
priced one of those yet?
Is that,
Yeah,
Is that like
Yeah, it was
Rams
14
on
or
the road,
1500
like
bucks.
bring it up?
$1,400.
Yeah.
Shovel-ready.
Can you do that?
She's got it,
We can look.
she's got it, I can't remember, and
Can
then
you
it was.
bring it up and like cut down like the
Do
tree
it all
limbs and stuff? 'Cause I
positions.
drove down the road the other day and I was like, dang.
All positions, yeah.
So that'd be great.
That would be good.
My point being, and that's a good point, thank you very much, but
But I would look in and make sure that you're not, that, at the end of that, 3 years or whatever, if there's not a big, chunk of cash they want, we could do that too. You need to make sure.
I think Jennifer's,
I covered that
Yeah.
because
I
we
think
have
she's
three
busy.
options. We have the option to buy it at fair market price. We have the option to trade it in for new equipment or to give it back and be done.
And with no, just what we paid out of pocket.
Just what we paid.
That sounds like, still, whatever you decide, like I said, I need a machine.
I'm curious
And
about
I,
the warranty.
and I don't wanna,
And then on
keep
here, it
reading
has
the
the
warranty
option
to
for
that.
like an extended warranty too, you can ask about that too, it's marked on here, it's the extended warranty, we ask about that too. And I get those calls all the time, but I'm curious about this one.
so would it upset you if we got a Kubota?
that's fine with me. Kubota's a good piece of equipment.
We run
I have no-
Kubotas and we
yeah.
run, and we've still got machines that are 20 years old that are still out.
Yeah, no,
there.
they,
I'm just a big fan of them.
it was $2,200 for a side cutter.
I guess the question.
And it's a
is,
65-inch side cutter, which is pretty good. And it articulates here, it is right here. That's what you need.
Jennifer?
The
Good job.
so my opinion, if we do it this way, the difference between the compact and the standard frame, because there's less than $1,000 difference between them two, I personally would go with the standard simply because it has the built-in jacks. So if there's a belt or something that needs to be done, they're able to jack it up and work in it that way.
Yeah, the turf is the way to go, that's the one.
And the digital readout, and it's even heavier than the other one. Both of them have seats that they can adjust the comfort levels on. Not that makes a difference, but I mean,
Yeah,
It takes 16 hours a day, it makes a
That
difference.
doesn't, that's not a
I know
factor for
that's
me,
not a
but-
have to, I'm just saying, I was saying the difference in the
Yeah,
two,
yeah,
so.
no, the turf is the one that I would prefer out of the
Which
two,
is
for sure.
the standard frame.
It sounds like that's the way to go, if they're not gonna charge us nothing for, what, 2 years or 3 years, whatever it is?
Whatever we want our lease to be for
And
is
if
what
we need
it'll
to
be
get rid of
for.
it,
That's what's a less than $1,000 difference.
Right, and that's what I was saying, is it's not a big price difference, and he agreed, he said for not a big of a price difference, I would agree with you on that seriously, so. But why did you go Jennifer? Is that
Yeah,
open a
just
can
to
of
see
worms?
you smile. No, what I was gonna say is that, and first of all, thank you for doing this, but, you might I don't know if Athens Tractor and Equipment sell those or not. These,
I did not check with Athens.
I'm just saying,
Yeah.
No, I can,
if they do,
you
we
said it was
may
a
wanna talk to 'em.
Right.
three-point sidearm,
Can you?
is that what you said?
Yeah,
Yeah,
category
okay,
1,
yeah,
2.
Three-point
It's right
sidearm.
here.
Here, well,
Just
let's
give her that, yeah.
just give you this.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Hold on, okay.
What I'll do is as soon as I get the email, I'll forward it to you, and then you can send it to everybody.
You might check with him on that, because if there was something that they could do on that,
Yeah, that's fine with me, yeah, absolutely.
yeah.
We're not trying to keep you from getting what you need, we just want you to have a good, we want you to be, like you said, we want you to be able to manage your time wisely,
Right.
and so.
But I need something, okay?
I know,
It's dragging
I
on,
know.
dragging on.
We're not, well, honestly, we just got brought all this information 2 weeks
Yeah.
ago, so.
Okay. Man, I hate to take it. So, let me ask you a quick, and maybe you don't know. So if you go and you tell him that we want a 3-year lease, is that 3-year lease gonna be the same amount per month as if it was a,
I don't know, that's why he said he would give it to me tomorrow. I can, when I email him tonight, cause he has been on top of it all week with me. And so as soon as he gets to the office at 8 in the morning, he will get it and email it to me as quickly as possible.
How long a lease do you want?
Well, no, so he gave me the financing and cash options, and while we were talking this afternoon, I was going over and trying to ask him as many questions as I could ask him about this for tonight. He said, I didn't even think about sending you the municipality lease. He said, if y'all wanna see that, I will send it to you tomorrow. He said, but that's a better route and a better option for you to go. So that's why, we just talked about a lease for a short amount of time because he had just thought about it. Cause I didn't know there was anything like that. And so when we were discussing, the options and the financing and the different prices and money and things like that, he said that's a really good way to go. And so he said he would get me that as soon as I wanted it. So, I mean, I don't care if we want, do we want to do 3 years so he can write it up? I mean, you get a quote on it or whatever?
You had to take taxes off, insurance off, what about
all
the
that.
dealer
Right, which, well, I'll
tax?
tell him, cause
Well,
I
when he
told him
does
I
it,
needed
he
to
will do
verify,
that.
right, I told him, I said, I believe we're tax exempt, but I will verify it for sure. And so I told him I would have all the information that we needed to give him tonight. And then, cause when I get home, I'll email it all to him, so.
Okay, let me just run something by you.
Sure.
So, let's just say, because I figured $13,733. Is what, if we wrote a check today, that's what it cost us. And so, if he's gonna do a lease, he's gonna want to get at least, I'm making a guess, I'm gonna say he's wanting 60% of that price, of that value of that equipment done, paid in 3 years. That's just a guess. So if I divide that, or if I multiply that times 0.6, so that's $82.39 that he will want us to pay over 3 years. And if you divide that by 36, that's just $220, that's almost the same price. So can we approve the lease for that piece of equipment and give her the authority that as long as it's under $300 a month, she can?
Well, she'll have to be to go up there to sign the paperwork. Well, I mean, I know I can, but, I mean, I don't care.
No, what I'm
just
saying is
but,
to get this off.
Right, so
I don't wanna
that
table it.
that we don't have to have another meeting to approve,
okay,
do you want to, you can,
to do the negotiating,
you can give,
basically, is that what you're saying?
Well, basically what I'm saying is that we can give her the authority to go down there and sign that lease as long as it's under $300 a month, which it should be.
I mean, we can work it all out to however long, just so it's under $300 a month.
Or you can do it for 5 years, it's under $300.
Yeah.
Right,
But I don't think 3 years, I don't think it's gonna be $300 a month.
right,
And I'm just trying to get this off the table so that
right, no, I agree,
if
yeah,
it's $238 a month, she's got the authority to say, okay, when can we pick it up? And he gets them a lot more.
right, I agree. Yeah, that's what, and I told him, I said, we need it ASAP, and he said, I understand. So he knows that he's gonna do everything he can to get this done. So yes, I can get it done quickly. I mean, get all the information, like I said, as soon as I get the email, I'll send it to B, and then you can send it to everybody, and then they'll do what we need to do.
Okay, so I'm gonna make a motion.
Make a motion.
That we approve the lease of the Kubota tractor with the stipulation, and give the mayor the option or the authority to sign the lease with the stipulation that it's under $300 a month.
Standard frame,
I'm sorry?
standard frame,
Yes, the Kubota, the
just,
standard frame Kubota.
I'll second.
Okay, any other discussion? All in favor? David, are you in favor?
Favor?
Okay. Unanimous vote.
or does it need to go on the tractor?
I figured,
I'll call
the
I'll
house,
call
I
him
figured the road
tomorrow.
would be.
Well, I was gonna send it to him so he could.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Try and get it
Yeah, no
right.
problem. Okay,
Okay, you're free to
Go
go.
tractor.
pardon me?
I guess it doesn't.
We've gotten comments that we've lost the feed,
Yeah, that's what,
but this still shows it, so I'm gonna end this and restart it, so I'm gonna just pause for a second.
Will it go on it, do I need to give him a
That would be
specific
category
tractor?
1 or 2.
Category 1 or 2 tractor?
Tractor,
Give
yeah.
her any more information?
Pardon? No, everything else is on there.
Okay, cause I can give it to him and I'll get everything ready for you.
Okay, thank you.
Luckily, they didn't miss much. The weeds that have been talking about the mower.
I don't know how long it's been down, I just got the text from somebody. At 7:38, so,
Oh, so it's not been down very long.
well, they didn't text
They
me.
got tired of us talking.
For doing all that work. I really did try to take everything into consideration. I was really impressed with how, patient he was with me in explaining everything, and he never acted like I was a bother or wasting his time. I was very impressed with him, very
Good.
impressed.
Yeah, SB Barclay's not.
We do a lot of business with them.
So, I was very impressed with him. And everything he said he would do, he did, and so,
Well, I appreciate you doing all of that.
and I don't mind, anytime we need something, I don't mind.
Well,
I like learning new things anyways. So, I learned a lot, and,
I don't know much about tractors or mowers.
Driver.
that was me, I was reversed.
Forward, so all I know. Now, my 15-year-old, he knows quite a
It's all-
bit, he's
it's
learned
all
quite
in
a bit.
which pedal you push.
Yeah,
Well,
and
we
then you
have
gotta
a
press this
zero
little back
turn, and
thing up
I-
here, and you gotta push this to go backwards. I jacked it all up one day.
On the zero turn, you have the handles that, or whatever,
Oh, yeah, I know.
no, Bruce and Cody do all that, not me.
Mhm.
I
I'm not allowed to
used to
touch it
but
anymore.
That's what I was told when we got the zero turn.
I'm not allowed to touch it.
that looks like my internet.
Okay, it says we're live again, so you wanna check with whoever it was that text message to see if we're back up?
Okay.
But it shows to be up, so we'll continue.
All right.
Looks like we are back up. On to item number 5. Mostly this is just information. This little thing that I gave you is just, we have already posted this. This is what we approved at our last meeting about the water bills and the late fees and the extension fees. We're going to put this as a little flyer with the next water bills that go out. And we're gonna put it on colored paper, so maybe people will read it. Okay. The next thing is that we did get,
information from, the governor's office about, from the public safety office about some, grant money that's gonna be available. It's federal grant money for the COVID-19, emergency funding for local governments. And we're going to explore that a little bit more, and in conjunction with that, Chief Tucker gave me something from the Department of Justice, funding for the same thing. This application deadline is May 29th, and, we need to give him the authority to pursue this. It's just a grant to pay for something that we may find that we're paying for because of the COVID-19. So, I don't see any reason why we shouldn't ask him to see if he can get us some free money.
To pay for what?
Well,
Yeah, what would we be using that money for?
Well, it's anything law enforcement related to respond to the COVID-19 crisis. It could be anything from, police officer overtime, it could be, barricades, anything that we need to deal with the COVID-19 crisis. If we had to close the city parks and we needed barricades to barricade the roads, those type of things. I know Henderson County just approved $43,000 for the same thing. It's just for incidentals or anything that we can use when dealing with this COVID-19.
And it would go into an
It'd be like
account.
their, that,
No,
like,
it
you would like.
would
stuff or
it would
whatever.
actually be
Yeah,
to
that
purchase
would be-
something, so it wouldn't go into account. It's not a guaranteed amount of money that we would get. We would have to say, here's what we're gonna purchase, and then they would just, they would give us that money to purchase that
So
equipment.
they're just not gonna give you money and
Correct.
say, hang on to it for,
No.
okay,
No, you
so
have
you
to
have,
say
the purchases would have to be approved by them.
right.
Well, no, not about them,
I mean,
yeah.
but I'm saying, in order to use that money, you've gotta tell them and show them what you're spending it on.
And what it's used for.
Right.
But it's a non-matching grant, so it's not anything that we have to match or repay or anything, so it's just, like I said, it's free money.
And you can use it for like PPE and stuff?
Yeah, for sure.
Absolutely.
That was
anything.
one of the
Yeah,
things.
there's no
they said.
restrictions as long as it's COVID-19 related.
Well, and that's, there's a word for it, for like being proactive, that
Yes,
you.
yes, this is.
That you buy the PPE in case you need it.
Correct.
And technically, a lot of that PPE, like if they buy it just in case they need it and they don't use it, they can also use it for later purposes too.
Right, it doesn't, if they bought something being proactive and they didn't use it, they could still keep it.
No, I understand,
Well, to
that's,
use-
I'm just trying to understand myself, okay.
So do you wanna give him the authority to pursue this money?
That's what I'm gonna ask, do we need to make a motion?
We need a motion, or did you do that?
Is that on the agenda?
It's under the code,
It's under
COVID-19.
COVID-19,
Oh,
and
okay.
this is such a fluid subject at this point in time. We're just gonna do this and do what we have to do. So-
Perfect.
I make a motion that we give Chief Tucker the authority to get this grant money.
I'll second it.
All in favor? David, are you in favor?
In favor?
Okay, it is unanimous. Motion is passed. Okay. Number 6 is the tidy toilet. We have not taken them out of the park. Some of the people who watched last time have, approached us and said, what are people gonna do? Are they gonna start going to the bathroom just behind the trees and the bushes, and we don't want that to happen. Ma'am?
We need to get rid of those, period, because they are the most unsanitary things during this pandemic. And if I've gotta go clean the bathrooms twice a day, I'll do it. But we need to reopen the bathrooms, and all we gotta do is put soap down there. If we have a fishing tournament down there,
Well, we are going into a period of time when, the gatehouse is going to be manned for a while. I mean,
right, in
during
May,
the day,
starting
so
May.
it will.
I'll clean the bathrooms twice a day if I have to until then. But we've got to, I mean, as long as we're allowing people in the park, we need to give them a place to go to the bathroom. But
Correct.
there's nothing you can do to sanitize the tidy toilet. There's nowhere to even wash your hands with just water in there. So, those need to go, and we need to open the bathrooms. I think, and if we have tournaments, there can't be more than 10 people in a group down there.
No, that's right.
So they have to be, I mean, they need to drop their fish and go sit back in their boat or something, or their car. But you can't have more than 10 people in one place, because we will be fined.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, we are.
People are busting it up to get us in trouble, so,
Well, we are in contact with the people who are running these tournaments, and they have assured us that, when they go for their awards or whatever, that they are keeping their 6-foot distance, and, so they're not having people congregating around that area even. They have to keep their distance back, so they have assured us that they are
well,
going to
keeping your
keep that.
distance is different than having them no more than 10 in a group.
Well,
So that's what
well, I
I'm
mean,
saying.
but they can't, I mean, they're not, they are keeping that. Okay. They have assured us that that's what they're doing. Okay, any other discussion about this?
I'll need a
All
key
right.
to the bathroom so that I'll be able to,
Well, we'll see.
or are you just gonna
If our
leave it
guys are
unlocked
gonna-
24
They've
hours?
already cleaned, they've already
They
bleached,
cleaned- well, they cleaned
they've done
bleached
top to
already.
bottom.
Well,
Yeah.
if
So
they
they're
do
all
it
ready to
during the
go.
week, I'll do it on the weekends. I don't mind helping out to make sure they stay clean. I've got plenty of stuff, gloves and everything else, but I
Well, we
just,
have all of that stuff.
okay, I just think that we really need to keep those bathrooms open.
Okay.
Do we need to put any kind of a sign on there?
No more than 10 people? Keep your 6-foot distance.
You probably do.
One
I
person
mean,
in at a time or whatever.
I live pretty close to that place, and I can tell you some stories, but,
Oh.
but just to rid us of any liability, that enter at your own risk or whatever, because is somebody gonna come back and say, well, I caught it and it was because I was in that bathroom, because the bathroom's not clean?
I honestly don't think we need, to even put that up there. They would be hard pressed to prove that they got it from our
I
bathroom.
understand.
And I will say, I've heard stories, so I understand, but when I used it the last time before we closed them, it was actually pretty clean. I mean, they need to be disinfected anyway because of this, but it was actually pretty clean. So the only thing that we were required to put in there is hand soap, and there wasn't any. So, that was the only thing I had said, is we have to get that in there. Whether we put bottles in there while we're ordering the sensors or whatever we need to do, but we need to get hand soap in there.
I think you need to put a dispenser in there, because somebody's gonna take that hand soap off.
I agree. They do.
I agree.
Yeah.
But until they get in, we need to have some kind of soap in there, and if I need to go pick it up and put it in there, I can. I'm willing to do whatever I can to help, but I don't think we need to put a sign up. I think that we're okay.
Okay.
Because everybody is taking their risk at Walmart, Berkshire's, everywhere else. And, you know, we can put a big bottle of hand sanitizer as well, you know, or we can get the dispenser.
They'll take it.
You
I was like, we can get
Hand
the dispenser for hand sanitizer
gotta
and
be
soap.
anchored down.
Right, So, but we do need to get that in there, so.
And doesn't the park close every night at a certain time?
Well, the park does, but the boat ramp is still 24/7.
No, the park doesn't close.
So I'm just saying, I'm not okay with it staying open all night.
Well, they do because the boaters, the fishermen come in at 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, so they have left it open to do that. I mean, we can close it at a certain time if you want and reopen it, you know, I get up at 5 in the morning, so we can do that, but we have left it open before, so that's how it was before, correct?
We have left it open overnight. We did that all last summer.
Any vandal issues with it? No, okay.
No,
Do we know how much we pay a month for those toilets?
150.
200?
Little less.
So that makes your lawnmower payment.
Right? These tiny toilets are supposed to be gone a year ago too, so, you know.
Just saying.
Well, I make a motion that we get rid of the tiny toilets for real this time, like gone, and open up the bathrooms and put soap and hand sanitizer in it.
I'll second that motion.
If we can find hand sanitizer.
Well, yes, but we need
I get
to
what
get
you're
the
saying.
dispensers in there.
Yes, okay. And get the dispensers.
Have you already got them ordered, or no?
No, I didn't order them because we shut the bathrooms down on last
Okay.
meeting. But
But it doesn't take us long to get something.
it's the availability of the material possibly, but we'll do what we can. As quickly as we can.
Okay.
And we'll put regular soap in there,
Yeah.
little containers.
They don't spill them out of the
Refill.
Red Barn. I'm hoping that people will be smart enough not to at least be considerate right now during this pandemic.
But we have teenagers going down there, so. That's not an issue. So,
Give 'em a hose.
okay, we have
I
a motion
do.
on the floor. All in favor? David, are you in favor?
Favor?
Okay. We will get rid of the tiny toilets and open up the bathroom. Number 7 is the update of the repairs and renovations for the wastewater treatment plant. Wastewater plant repairs will be completed tomorrow, 4/17. The, airlines will be jetted the first part of next week, which will conclude all of the wastewater plant rehab.
And that's before, we had a deadline of what, April 30th?
April 30th. So we are well ahead of that. The next step will be to have, TCEQ inspector come out and see what we've done, make sure that we've done that all up, and then he has to write up a report. So, that's all underway. Any other questions about that? The water part of that is that, for each of the wells, they had to order meters, special meters. When they sent them, they sent the wrong ones. There need to be 8 of them. And we got 4 in, we're still waiting for 4. The other 4 have done, all 8 of them were on order, they sent 4, now we're still waiting for 4 to go in. But that it has nothing to do with TCEQ. That's just part of what we needed to do to get those updated, so that's still part of the project money, that we're doing out of that. Okay. Number 8, the park committee would like to purchase tables for the park out of the proceeds from the grant. So they wanna purchase, four, five, how many, are there four parks?
Four.
Four, yeah, four, which will total, 347606. The grant from PVEC was 353388, so there is money to purchase 4 more tables for down there.
Make a motion, we let them purchase the table.
I'll second it.
Second.
All in favor? David?
Favor?
Okay. We have a unanimous vote. All right. Moving on. This is just an update on the offer to purchase property that we discussed. Mr. Santos, who wanted to buy the commercial property, was watching when we were online, and the next day, he said he didn't want to negotiate further and asked for his deposit back.
Good.
The Affordable Acres people who wanted to buy, the lot, we contacted them, they did not want to increase their bids, so both of them are out of the running. Okay, let's get number 12 out of the way. We do not have any additional information on the Verizon proposal.
So we're tabling it
We
again?
would like, can you make a motion to table it?
We can only table something 3 times, so.
This will be the second time.
Okay. I make a motion that we table the Verizon proposal for the office telephones and internet.
Second.
Okay, all in favor? David?
Favor?
Okay, so we will table that item. Okay, we have, the next item on here is volunteer fire department. You have requested that we put this on here. Do you wanna start the discussion, or do you want, me to,
Go ahead,
let me go ahead?
knock yourself out.
Okay. In a continuing effort to find a way to support the fire department, for several months, I have been speaking to people in the city and in other cities, and also with Blake Armstrong, our city attorney. What he had indicated to me in February was that we could not make a donation to the volunteer fire department because it was against state statute. I had asked him about putting a line item on the utility bill, but he said that would be considered a pass-through donation. So that was one of the options that we had been looking at. So this is what, these are the notes that I took in February. That he had indicated me that because they were a separate 501c3 entity, that we could not make a donation to them. While they provide a public service, it's not providing a city government service, as it is not a city department. He said that we should not have a contract with them, that we cannot donate to them. And then he said that we can add them as a line item on our budget and pay them from our ad valorem taxes. And then my note to myself was that we would have to see where we could trim our budget in order to add them, and then pass an amendment to the ordinance to revise the budget. I was anticipating that at our April meeting that we would.
They're already on the budget.
Okay,
Okay,
right.
sorry.
So-
Okay.
So, last year, we put them on the budget. Not considering it, I guess I don't know, I put it on there because it had never been on before, so as a placeholder kind of a thing, so we would be able to do that.
It had been on there before.
So, well, not on ones that not recent, okay, not recent ones. So that we would be able to do that this year. So I was trying to figure out how are we gonna do this? So now he's telling me that, no, we can't, that we could put it on the utility bill. And then, that we would be indirectly donating, by not charging for water usage, and that individuals can donate, and this would then be a tax deductible donation to them. So, I was unclear how we could put it in our budget if we couldn't donate. So, my last communication to him was last week, and I just said, after we discussed the volunteer fire department, I tried to remember what you said, and if we're unable to fund them because they are a 501c3 and we're not able to make a donation to them, how is it possible to have them in our budget? Also, if we allow them to have free water, isn't that also donating to them? And then his response was, we can provide a line item in our budget that essentially makes a donation to the volunteer fire department, which is totally what he told me we couldn't do. We can do this because the volunteer fire department services provide a public purpose. And Texas cities can't make donations of public funds or property unless a public purpose is being served by the entity receiving the donation. Again, the volunteer fire department would qualify in that regard. So, I spoke with him on the phone, and I said, and I read to him what I just read to you, my notes, and I said, is this true, is this true, is this true? And he said, yes, that's all true. However, and this is the first time that he even mentioned the words public purpose. So, I apologized to everyone that I made an assumption about something that I guess, and not an assumption, my interpretation of what he said. I misinterpreted what he said. So, we have the ability to redo our budget if we want to do it right now. We have, and I suggest if we want to do that we have separate meetings to do that.
But they're already on the budget, why do we have to do that when they're already,
Well,
we
because,
already
I mean,
budgeted
because
to give them the money?
we can disperse that $1,000 that's in there. We'll disperse that now, but if we wanted to do a memorandum of understanding, we said we should not have a contract, because what's the contract gonna say? That they're going to put out our fires, that they're gonna answer. So, he said it would not be a contract, be a memorandum of understanding that they would provide the service. But what he said was, in my conversation with him, was that because, we're still making a donation, but it's the mechanism of how we're doing the donation. So we can't do like a pass-through donation, that if it's in our budget, then that's mechanism that we can use. We can't do an outright donation.
Uh,
Still called a
And I
donation.
don't like the word donation, because we're not giving a donation, we're providing we're providing financial assistance for a public service.
Okay.
That's all we're doing.
I was just using. his
No,
word. Yeah, see?
I'm not arguing with you.
No.
We're not making a donation to the fire department. We are paying for their service.
Right.
Or supplementing other income for their service. And so, I have always, I mean, when you told me that, no, we can't do a donation to the, fire department, and I didn't see it as a donation because we're paying, it's in our budget to pay this money to the fire department for services rendered. It's no different than office services or whatever we're doing with Jeremy.
Well, he did say if there is a difference. Cause I
No,
said, why
he's saying,
can't, why?
he's saying there's no
Right.
difference, it's in the budget, and so it's no different to make that payment as we would make the payment for office services or
Right.
whatever, that's what, right?
Yes, ma'am, sorry.
Right,
That's what he's saying.
right, and that's.
Yes, there's a
true.
difference, but he's saying as far as the budget goes, it's in our budget, we should have made that payment. It's a payment just like anything else for services rendered.
Right. And we can do that now.
Because I had always been on the budget until the last Judy Bearden reign that I was on. And in order for her to make the budget balance, she took it out. That was the only reason I would take it out. So up until then, it had always been in the budget to give them money. Long before this fire chief, or it's been in there for a long time. Well, I'm saying, way back.
Okay, so we can,
Okay.
we've got the money in the budget, and we're
We'll pay
perfectly
that
legal,
$1,000,
and we can pay it to
we
them.
will pay that $1,000
And then
out.
we can get a memorandum of understanding between the fire department and the city,
Correct.
correct?
Correct.
And we're
And-
not charging them for water, correct?
No, we are not charging them for water. They received that bill, and that has
Bummer,
been,
you're taking everything off my list.
and that has been, so that has been taken off.
Why did you send the bill?
Just because of what I was told by the attorney, that was.
Well, it doesn't, the fire department is not part of the city.
Correct.
So in any big town, when the fire department's part of the city, they don't pay for the water, obviously. But if the water has to be accounted for, and the fire department is filling up to put out somebody's fire, then it's almost like a dog chasing his tail because of trying to, the fire department should be charged for the water, to put out somebody's fire, and then how are you gonna go to that homeowner or that landowner and say, I used 38,000 gallons to put that fire out, so here's your water bill?
And I know just about every homeowner's insurance, they pay the they give money to the fire department, from what my insurance reads anyway,
So,
to help offset those costs
so the way,
as well, so.
sort of,
I mean, but I'm saying, so, you know, there shouldn't be charging them anything.
so every car insurance and every homeowner's insurance has a clause in there where you pay a certain portion every month for a fire department or EMS personnel, or actually technically police too, if they respond to that accident or that, fire. But that fire department or that police department has to have a direct way of billing that insurance in order to get it. Most of these volunteer fire departments can't afford for some company to be able to bill that insurance to be able to get it. This year, or whatever it was, they passed it, the whole county did it for the fire marshal association for all the fire departments too. So this is the first year that they've just been able to start doing that. But that's what you're talking about. But my question is like, if you send a bill to the fire department from the middle of the night that they're running 6 different agencies, how are you gonna, if you want the bill, like, you gonna send one bill to one fire department, when Payne Springs, Eustis, Malakoff, everybody would fill up their truck if you would've done that? That's just silly to me. Like, how would you have accounted for just 6 different people if you would've wanted to continue to send bills?
Corey told me that, no, transparent.
They might, but if you can send Payne Springs to come fill up, and then Payne Springs may pump into Eustis, and then Eustis may pump into Malakoff, and then Malakoff may be the one putting out the fire. How do you say, Payne Springs Fire Department, you're gonna pay this bill?
So we don't charge anybody for water that they use to do our fires? For public purpose. Public, yes, so, for public purpose.
Right. Okay, so, on the water bill, can we add a line item that says, I would like to donate to the volunteer fire department? With a $ sign and a blank. Or I would like to donate $3 to the volunteer fire department with a box that you check yes or no.
Can't go through the city.
Incorrect. The Public Utilities Commission says you can. And so does our
We're not
city
under,
attorney.
we're not under
So does Lake.
that.
As long as it's a voluntary purpose, and as long as the citizens know it's a voluntary purpose, and as long as citizens know that their water bill will not be cut off for that purpose, we can put it up as a line item on our water bill.
So, I'm looking at chapter 24, substantive rules applicable to water and sewer service providers, customer service and protection. A billing by the utility that includes a voluntary contribution under this section must clearly state that the contribution is voluntary and that it is not required to be paid. I'm not supposed to read that. I mean, this is saying that you
So,
can.
so you have something that I haven't read yet?
Okay, I'll give it to you. I mean,
No,
and
I
I did
mean-
not mean that.
No.
The way it came in. I'll give it to you. A utility may implement as part of its billing purpose a program under which the utility collects from its customers a voluntary contribution, including a voluntary membership or subscription on behalf of a volunteer fire department or an emergency medical service. I think that pretty much told us what we could. But anyway, the last 2 paragraphs. I would like for that to be under consideration.
Okay. I will find out if we can get it on our small postcard. We'll,
There should be room, I think there is room on there, underneath the.
Just take out the
We'll
word.
have
Cause they added my trash can
Take
on
out
there
the-
just fine.
Take off the word.
Take them out.
all right, we'll see,
It's
we'll,
a joke.
I'm like, no, remove that.
okay. So we could put it as voluntary contributions.
I don't know if you can, you know, I'm not the only one that gets them, but like from the state troopers, please, we need your donations or something, and they'll have a box for $10 or $25 or $50, and then they'll have a line for others. So I don't know,
Because each card is printed out individually per person. So, we can get a list to Elisa of who wants to donate and how much, and then that can be added into her system to be printed on the card.
I was just gonna make it, I was just thinking it's all the way
Every time
across
you
the
pay the
board.
water- oh,
You
oh,
It's all the way
you
across
can't
the
do it
board.
just-
Okay, well, I mean, you gotta put individualized numbers, not everybody's water bill's the same.
No, but if they put in, if they have to put in how much they're extra, I mean, if they're
So
gonna
like
pay
the 8 and the
$10
2?
extra, if they're gonna add, then they
Okay.
add $10 and,
So just fire department donation $10, or,
I'm-
I mean, whatever we
I'm
make
asking
it,
who
that's what.
pays that.
the citizens when they pay their water bill.
But do they pay that, or are you saying it comes out of what they owe on their water?
No, no, no,
No,
no, no, no.
in
Because
additional
that is-
amount, no.
No.
Say like, say
Okay.
that, so like my water bill is $92.33, and I wanted to make it $10, I would write $102.33.
As long as it doesn't impact our.
No.
No.
It doesn't,
It's gonna
but-
be in
No.
addition to.
Okay, that's
right,
perfect.
Right, to the.
Okay.
I just don't know if you can, and I don't know why you couldn't. I don't think you had, why would you have to have a set amount on there?
No, you just have a line.
I would like
And
to
how
volunteer this much to the volunteer fire department, or I would like to donate this much to the volunteer fire department, and leave it blank. And let people
And
do
then-
whatever they want to.
And then we
And
would
if they
still-
don't do anything,
But we would
it's no
still,
big deal.
but we would still have to have that disclaimer on there that,
It's for voluntary purposes and
and
services
it
will
will.
not be affected, yes.
Right. We would have to have that disclaimer, right? But I will call Blake and make sure that we have the correct wording for whatever we need to do, if we do that. Okay?
And the city is not donating that money, it's from the citizens,
Right.
so we're not
Which,
donating.
I don't see a problem in doing it because it's a citizen choice.
If we put it on, as a line item on there, say like $10, that's called a flat tax, and you can't do a flat tax. So you can't do a flat tax. So that was what. But if we could do it this way, that'd be great. But we still need to consider, financing. You know, how are we gonna work that into our budget? We all need to be thinking about that before we start working on the budget. How?
Work what
For
into the
this
budget?
Next budget year?
The next budget year, for the next week, or we can make an amendment if we wanted to
Oh,
start
are you
sooner
talking
than
about
that.
having a more,
Changing,
quit laughing at me.
changing the amount.
Changing the amount
If we wanted
that we're
to
gonna,
change
okay.
the amount,
That's what you're referring to.
that's what I'm
Okay.
referring to. And right now,
I'm
we.
like, I thought we already agreed, it's already in the budget.
No, that part's already in the, no.
Okay.
And all of this other stuff that I was just telling you was so that we could do that sooner than the end of the budget year. So, and I know that we had talked about looking at the budget midway through the year, and we are at that point, and we are working on getting that to a point where we can look at it, but we need to have a special meeting to do that. We should not be taking up time and, to do that in our regular meeting. Okay, so, do you want to make a motion, Mr. Allen, to put that line item on the water bill?
Okay, so I'll make a motion that we put a voluntary donation to the volunteer fire department on the water bill. That is completely voluntary and completely set aside from the water bill.
I will give that.
Okay, any other discussion? All in favor?
I'm abstaining. I have to abstain.
Jessica has abstained.
If they do.
David, are you in favor?
Yes, in favor.
All right. All right, moving on. The ordinance 1E, which is the animal control ordinance. We added language on page 11 for the keeping of chicken hens. And while, I just wanted you to know that while I was looking for language about this, I just wanted to point out that the inclusion of chickens and rabbits in the prohibited animal part of the ordinance was put in February of 1988, when Log Cabin first became a city. It was not something that was added later by people who came from a different place, and decided not to allow chickens. The vision of the founders of Log Cabin was one of a city, not a country subdivision. And I want to remind council members that we are passing laws for over 700 residents, not just a few. Okay, so, I think,
Am I mistaken, was it 5 instead of 4?
Yeah, we agreed on 5. Did we agree on 5?
Yes.
I did hear from a resident, a citizen, that she thought that no more than 2 was sufficient. So, I told her I would pass that along to her.
I don't know how many eggs typically chickens lay.
1 a day, at the most.
how many?
1 a day.
One a
at the
day.
most. Like Cave and Show chickens only do 2 a week, so, one less for them. So I did notice that you took out on the prohibited animals, the time frame for the raising of rabbits and chickens for the year, from it being from like August to May. I did see that you had taken that out. And I did go through and I did change some wording, and I made a copy of everything that I wanted to change. I'll give everybody, if you wanted to look at it, so you can compare it to it. So that way, and I'll explain why I wanted to change it to you, Mayor. And I have it all, if that, yes, and then I have it on Word, if that's one of the things that go with, I can just send it to you, so you don't have to retype it or anybody retype it. So, I put 5, because that's what we had voted on, instead of 4.
Okay.
I only changed a little bit on mine, and y'all can, so, I don't think that we should tell people that they have to keep it at the back of their property, because, or at their backyard, because I don't have a backyard. And if you tell somebody to keep it 30 feet from their backyard or at the rear of their yard, I think it was like 30 feet from the rear of their section. So instead, I had changed it to keeping it 30 feet from the front property line. That way, because you only have, most are 100 feet deep and only 50 feet wide. Some of them are only 75 feet deep. So if you take away and make it to where it has to be at the back and so far from the back, and you have somebody else's house at the back of that property, you're making it to where then those chickens are so close to somebody else's house that may be at the rear of their property. So you lost April. So, take it off speaker. Oh, there you go, call her back.
He's calling back. David, is that you?
One of his chickens.
Okay, hold on.
I mean, I didn't change much, I just, instead of it being from the rear, I did it from 30 feet from the front property line. 'Cause
I don't want people having their coops in the front yard where you're driving down the street and all you see is coop chicken coop. So I think saying it's 30 feet from the front property line, because like a lot of mobile homes are in there long ways, so they don't have a backyard. I mean,
yeah.
so, I mean, I'm personally not gonna keep chickens. My concern was, I didn't want it to be in the front, right in front where everybody sees them driving down the road and sees a bunch of chicken crap.
And that was those are, and then I also, like it says on the one that we were provided from the city, no incubating of chickens on the property. To me, if somebody can only buy 2 chickens and they wanna buy 3 eggs and they wanna incubate it, like who are we to say they can't incubate 3 more chickens for their maximum of 5? I think they should be able to incubate their chickens if they want to for their 5 or their 3 or their 2, whatever they want. I don't think we should be able to tell them they can't incubate their chickens.
And my only other concern is no selling of eggs.
And I put that on.
We're not supposed to be running businesses out of our home, but if we've got 25 residents, and they're all selling eggs, then we're gonna have all this extra traffic. I mean, I don't think they should be able to sell their eggs. If they are truly wanting their chickens for them to have their own eggs, then that's what it needs to be for, rather than,
That, and if you get eggs and they're fresh eggs and you wait 2 months and then you try to sell them, it's gonna have salmonella. So actually, I put that on there on number K, that no selling of fresh eggs on the last part of it too.
Okay, so we're adding,
Yeah, that's what, if you,
so you're
on number
adding a
K.
K.
Yeah, the no
And then the
selling of
next
fresh
one would
eggs.
be no.
That's just, these are just my suggestions of what I
Okay,
think would be appropriate.
so you're not asking to take the K off that's already on there?
No, what I did is I went off of this and amended this to these numbers, that way you have
took off the
something.
incubation one, is
I
that
took
what
off the
you're saying?
incubation one, yeah. And then I amended instead of it being at the rear of the vehicle, rear of the, property, that has to be at the rear of the property, that it can't be more within 30 feet of the front property line. It says, it has to be at the rear, but no more than 10 feet from, if somebody's house is at that rear, at that line, and it's right there at it, we're just causing more issues for the citizens. We don't have to go with it, those are just my opinion.
Okay, so. C.
Jessica, so if this is a property line and somebody's house or trailer's at the back of that property line and the
Yes.
road's in front, where are they gonna put their chickens?
They can do it at the back right corner, as long as there's not, and it has to be 10 feet away from that back right area next to it. They can be close as they want to their house, but it would have to be, on ours, it says 30 feet from any other structure that's not their own. And then, but I had changed it to 20 on mine, but, you can do it actually next to your own house if you want to. But my fear is if you put it at the back of the property, which it says on here, and that's actually somebody else's house, then you're doing it right next to somebody else's house.
I understand.
Unless it's the 30 feet, but then you're having to do it all the way at the front of the property.
Well,
You
even
make it
even
okay?
if the house is like that, because ours, I mean.
This is not the scale, man.
No,
No,
I'm saying,
So
our
that
backyard
would
is.
be Jennifer's house.
Right, because I have a small fenced-in area that goes to the line from the back of the house. And so I would either do it, of course, I have 5 lots, so I get a little bit more room. I would either do it to the side or I would do it in front, but I'm not gonna put it out